Thank you all for joining us for our first webinar. So this is a part of a series that the team at VitaminLab has put together to educate our community on some specific areas where supplementation can be really beneficial and supportive. These are areas that our customers often reach out to us to address, so we wanted to share some information with you all today. My name is Chanelle, and I am one of VitaminLab's in-house registered nutritionists, and I will be taking you through our first topic, which of course is seasonal allergies. So just as a reminder, the statements made in today's presentation and the respective products are not intended to diagnose, treat, heal, or cure any disease or condition. Every supplement is not intended for every body, and so you should speak to your healthcare professional for more individualized recommendations. So let's dive in. So what are seasonal allergies, and why do some people get these and others don't? So allergies are your body's reaction to a substance that it views as harmful or an invader. So for example, coming into contact with what is normally a harmless substance, such as pollen, may cause your immune system or your body's defense system to react. It's trying to keep that invader out or from doing any more damage to the rest of the body. Every year, trees, grass, and other plants shoot their sperm cells into the air in hopes that they will be taken by the wind to land on another plant and fertilize it. Each sperm cell is packaged in a hard protective shell, forming what we know as pollen. So though these pollens are meant to land on other plants, some may inevitably end up in your nose. Your body then sees these as invaders, and so begins the allergic response. So why do some people experience allergies and others don't? I mean, like the likelihood of pollens landing on each person is about the same, right? So allergies do tend to run in families, so genetics can play a part. Variants in a gene that help regulate the immune system are associated with higher rates of allergies. The environment you grow up in also matters. So being exposed to an allergen as a baby makes you less likely to develop an allergy to it later in life. So any of you who grew up on farms or in the developing world do tend to have fewer allergies. Though, of course, like I said, there are those exceptions where genetics come into play. So what exactly happens in the body during an allergic response? It's a lot more detailed than this, but I will go over briefly kind of what happens. So your body runs into the invader for the first time, and it produces an immunoglobulin E, or an IgE antibody, to protect itself against that foreign invader. The antibody then attaches to mast cells, which are a type of white blood cell. The next time that allergen is introduced, the mast cells release histamine to protect the body, which results in those allergic symptoms that we all know: the swelling, itchy eyes, runny nose, etc., etc. So there are a few steps we can take when it comes to preventing with and dealing with seasonal allergies. And the first of which is to support the immune system. So the immune system's purpose is to defend itself by keeping unwanted microorganisms from entering the body, and if they do happen to enter the body, to destroy them. So by strengthening our body's immune system, we increase the number of good microorganisms in the body and the speed at which it can defend itself. Next up, we want to reduce inflammation. So when our bodies come into contact with allergens, like the dust mites and pollens, the cells in the tissues become irritated. So think those symptoms like the red runny nose and the itchy eyes. The damaged cells release chemicals which include histamine, which causes blood vessels to leak fluid into the tissues, causing the swelling. So by supplementing with natural anti-inflammatories, we can reduce the severity of this reaction. Next up, we want to reduce or support the histamine response. So this kind of goes hand in hand with reducing inflammation. Histamine is the chemical released by white blood cells into the bloodstream when the immune system is dealing with the allergic reaction. So the more histamine in the bloodstream, the stronger those symptoms like the headache, fatigue, and nasal congestion. So we want to support the histamine response by supplementing with natural antihistamine vitamins and nutraceuticals to reduce the severity of the symptoms as well as the time it takes the body to break down histamine. So many of you who do suffer from seasonal allergies may be taking over-the-counter antihistamine medications like Claritin or Allegra for allergies, and I'll go into how and why those differ from supplements in just a moment. And finally, we want to avoid triggering foods. So, there are certain foods that, when consumed during the time of seasonal allergies, can trick the body into thinking it's come into contact with pollen. This is called oral allergy syndrome. And while our bodies are not allergic to the food itself, it reacts to the proteins that are similar to pollen or some pollen that may be found in the food. So, for example, if you experience allergies from grass pollens, you'd want to avoid things like melons and figs. But if you have weed pollen allergies, you'd want to avoid things like bananas, zucchini, echinacea, and chamomile tea. So, when exactly should you start supplementing for seasonal allergies? So, while there's no bad time to start supplementing, it really depends on what you're exactly allergic to and where you live that would determine when you would experience those allergies. So, scientists have recently determined that because of climate change, pollen season is likely to become longer and feature even higher amounts of pollen than it currently does. So, right now in the US, allergy season generally starts in mid to late April and it peaks in early May and will continue well into the summer months with higher amounts of pollen in the air at any given time. Seasonal allergies are, of course, most common during the times of seasonal change, like spring and fall, but of course, there are many triggers to have allergies existing well into those summer months. So, now that we know what to do and when to do it, what ingredients are best to address these concerns? So, the world of supplements can be very overwhelming, and there's so much information out there. So, I've narrowed it down to VitaminLab's favorite 7 ingredients to address seasonal allergies, and we will go through those together now. So, the first one of the most popular when it comes to cold, flus, and allergies, is of course our vitamin C. So, vitamin C has a ton of different benefits, but one of the most important when it comes to allergies is its antihistamine properties. So, vitamin C actually works in both directions. It increases the enzymes that break down histamine, as well as reduces the enzymes that produce histamine in the first place. So, all those symptoms like the itchy eyes and the redness and the swelling, they're all minimized. So, antihistamine medications like the Claritin work by interfering with histamine after it's already been produced, whereas vitamin C helps reduce the histamine production in the first place. The list of those potential side effects of those allergy medications honestly sound just as bad as the allergies themselves. That list includes headaches, eye redness, skin rashes, fatigue, nasal congestion, and so on and so on. So, a natural antihistamine that works in both directions is a great option. Supplement doses of every ingredient we go through today do depend on age, the severity of symptoms, possible medication use, etc. So, as a guideline for vitamin C, we would recommend somewhere between 250 to 1,000 milligrams daily for our immune and antihistamine support. So, next up, we have our citrus bioflavonoids. So, these are often referred to as vitamin P because they have vitamin like properties, but are actually a set of phytochemicals or compounds that are produced from plants. In the case of citrus bioflavonoids, they are extracted from the pulp and peel of citrus fruits. So, citrus bioflavonoids are great for supporting the immune system and help in both vitamin C being absorbed and utilized properly, but also works as an antioxidant to prevent vitamin C from being oxidized in the body. So, we recommend citrus bioflavonoids be taken in an approximate 1-to-1 ratio with vitamin C at a minimum dose of 100 milligrams daily. So, next up, we have our probiotics. So, when the gut becomes unbalanced with unhealthy levels of certain bacteria, probiotics can help restore the balance by introducing good bacteria back into the gut. Probiotics have been shown to secrete protective substances which support the immune system by preventing any invaders from taking over and creating disease or illness. So, while there are many strains of probiotics out there, studies show the best for immune support would be our Lactobacillus acidophilus and Bifidobacterium bifidum. And we would recommend a combined dose of somewhere between 5 and 20 billion culture forming units. So, another ingredient very familiar to many of us, found in many formulas, is our vitamin B6. So, B6, especially the active form of pyridoxal 5 phosphate, encourages histamine breakdown and ensures that the histamine doesn't linger in the body for too long. And it does this by activating diamine oxidase, or DAO, which is the enzyme that's required to eliminate histamine. Vitamin B6 can also help reduce blockage, so it helps to relieve bronchial constriction and reduces mucosal blockage that occurs as a result of seasonal allergies. So, to support this, we recommend a daily dose of somewhere between 10 and 15 milligrams. Next up, we have my absolute favorite. So, I myself used to be a frequent user of allergy medications, but once I discovered how powerful quercetin was, I noticed huge improvements, and I actually haven't used allergy medication now in over 5 years. So, quercetin is a plant pigment or flavonoid that's found in many foods like our kale, broccoli, and onions, and it's very powerful when extracted into a supplement form. So, it's known for its anti allergy and antihistamine properties, and it's actually the strongest of all natural antihistamines. So, though there are many benefits for the immune system as a whole, its protection and prevention for allergies is the strongest. So, I suffer from fall allergies and I start supplementing around mid August. And a dose of about 500 milligrams daily has been shown to be really beneficial in reducing the symptoms associated with seasonal allergies. It's also recommended to pair this with vitamin C to help the absorption. So next we have our bromelain. So bromelain is an type of enzyme called a proteolytic enzyme. And it's found in pineapple juice, but it's actually mostly found in the pineapple stem, which of course is not very palatable to many of us. So an extracted supplement is certainly more ideal. Bromelain causes the body to make the substances that fight off pain and swelling. So, supplementing with bromelain will reduce the swelling and inflammation of your sinuses, like your nose and throat, but it also helps to reduce allergic airways and allergy sensitization. So, a dose of about 300 milligrams daily has been really shown to be really beneficial in reducing the inflammation and swelling and also helping to reduce pain. And lastly, we have an ingredient that targets allergies in a little bit of a different way. So, L-theanine is an amino acid derived primarily from the leaves of green tea, but it's also found in some mushrooms as well. So, L-theanine is often referred to as the chill pill for its relaxation promotion properties, but it also has the ability to stabilize mast cells. So, again, that's where the histamine is secreted from. It helps to minimize allergic skin reactions and swelling. So, a dose of somewhere between 250 to 500 milligrams daily would be great for all those skin conditions like our hives or rashes. So we've just spoke about 7 of VitaminLab's favorite ingredients. And an important thing to remember is that not every ingredient is right for every body. So you shouldn't just start supplementing with all of these ingredients if you suffer from seasonal allergies. But chatting with our nutrition team one on one for a more personalized approach to supplementation is encouraged. So, our nutrition team at Vitamin Lab is comprised of registered holistic nutritionists, myself included, who offer one on one consultations to dive a little bit deeper into your background and your health goals and to discuss how we can best optimize your formula to meet your needs. So, here are just a few ways that we can support you on your health journey. We can combine ingredients from supplements that you're already taking into one easy to take formula. This helps to reduce the number of capsules you need to take, ensures accurate dosing, and of course, the convenience of having it all in one formula. I love to travel and I hate packing those little weekly plastic pill containers. And I love being able to just throw my vitamins into my suitcase and it's all taken care of. So, our team can also help modify existing formulas to align with health goals, medication changes, seasonal changes. So, a perfect example would be our seasonal allergies. This is not something that we necessarily need to support all year, but in the spring and fall months, we can include some of these ingredients to better target this area. We can also work with doctor recommendations and modify the formula as necessary. So, for example, if your doctor has put you on a new medication, we can review your formula to ensure it's still optimized for your health goals and works well in conjunction with that new medication. Our team can also help create you a brand new formula from scratch to target specific health goals. So, for example, if you become pregnant and are looking for a prenatal, or if you're training for a marathon and looking to support training and recovery, that's something our team would be happy to go through as well. And then finally, some of you just want to simply chat to ensure that the formula is most optimized for you and right for you. And that's something our team would be happy to do. So if you have any questions about any of the ingredients we spoke about today, allergy support, vitamins in general, our vitamin subscription, you're welcome to reach out to us here by email or phone, or feel free to jump on our website and there is a chat box there with a live agent. And we'd be happy to answer any questions that you do have. I'd like to thank you so much for joining us for our first webinar on seasonal allergies. And I hope you learned something about supplements in a natural way to support your body during this time. Thank you all so much. Take care.